Alright, ladies and gents, here's 4 things that games do wrong that aren't talked about. This is important to me as a game dev, but also as someone who grew up with games. Number 1, cosmetics. You know these as microtransactions. Why are they bad? Well, picture this. Imagine you're standing around an online game at a really cool chill area and you see someone with a really cool sword. Maybe it's blue, it's glowing, maybe they've got some really cool armor. You want that armor. So what you do is you ask them, you find out that you need to do a dungeon or a certain quest or something to get that item. You go and do it, you get some grind going, you get super lucky and a boss drops it for you. And now you get to look really cool too. You're so happy, you've got this really strong sword, it looks so cool, everyone's looking at you, it's awesome. Then, all of a sudden you see a level 1 with the same sword or the same armor. You ask him how he got it, turns out he bought it. He just started playing and he bought the item. Now you don't feel like you've got a reward at all. That reward from effort that you had from doing all those quests or all that grind is now taken away from you because everyone else can just get that item with paying money. Now, cosmetics and microtransactions don't have to be a bad thing. It's just when they take away from that reward from effort that they impact on the game. If you could have maybe some sort of low-key experience scroll or potion, or even honestly you could argue that some of the in-game pets could be cosmetics. That's pretty cool too. But when companies need to make money, I understand that. But when anything takes away from the experience or the adventure in the game, you're just making the game worse over a long period of time. Everyone's getting bored, everyone's getting sick of it, and slowly the game's going to dwindle away. Alright, so number 2, a game's ability to adapt to change, experience, or grow. A lot of games out there have been there for a while. You look at World of Warcraft, RuneScape, Destiny's been around for a long time now. All those sort of games. They used to be the top of the list. I mean, World of Warcraft still is. But when we used to play it, the graphics were like the best they could be back then, especially with World of Warcraft. It had the best gameplay mechanics and everything. Everyone thought it was the absolute best. You look at it today, the graphics haven't changed a whole lot. There's not much change happening there. The gameplay is still very similar, except the only issue is now it's probably worse. It's incredibly boring to get to endgame. I know I couldn't do it. I didn't see anyone in the world for like 3 hours doing some of the main story stuff. Definitely not a game that I want to play, because why? It wasn't fun. Retail and Season of Discovery are basically the same thing now. We need some updates for like graphics. We need new content, like cool content, not just something, not filler, you know what I mean? Something that fills the space. A lot of the games are doing this now just so they get something in there, but it's not good quality stuff. And that's another thing that's slowly making games boring, making them dwindle away. They need to be able to overcome these sort of things and keep players entertained on a continuous basis to make them good, make them fun. And I find that's why you see a lot of people only play a game for about a week or two before they switch to something else now, compared to, we used to be able to play something for, honestly, weeks and weeks and weeks or months and months. Alright, so number 3 is the actual gameplay experience. A lot of devs out there, I know I've done it before, don't look at actually if what is happening in the game is fun. I've had to delete weeks and weeks of work just because when I actually sat down and played it and thought about it, the quests I was doing, the puzzle I was doing wasn't that fun. And a lot of games do this. It goes back to the old collect 20 apples, collect 20 logs, hand them into this person, that sort of stuff. If you look at like Ocarina of Time, the gameplay in that game, that was so much fun, and honestly I could play that right now and still have so much fun. You don't see a lot of that now. There's some notable ones out there like Elden Ring, for example. I couldn't wait to get home from work and play that. But you don't see a lot of cool experience and cool adventure in games anymore. There's just not a whole lot of thought. Every now and then a really cool one pops up, but it's pretty rare in between, and it feels like we're walking in a desert waiting for another one to pop up. So that's my number 3 point. Look, if everyone could leave me a comment on what they think, maybe give an opinion on something I haven't covered, that'd be super cool. Trying to get some feedback for myself to make my game a bit better, perhaps. So let me know what you think, leave a comment, and thanks for watching. Cheers.